I believe recently you have seen some of the YouTube ads talking about investing in foreign property in UK, Malaysia or Australia, right? And because you may already own a property in Singapore and you intend to buy the second property in Singapore again, you got to pay the additional buyer's stamp duty, right? Which is at least 17%. So that is the biggest reason why you might want to consider to invest in foreign property. And for those who want to invest in the foreign property or you plan for retirement in overseas, continue watching before you make any firm decision. Hello, I'm the property strategist Steven Chong. Appreciate your early thumbs up. In fact, foreign property looks cheap and sexy as compared to Singapore property. Just 300,000 you can find a very decent one. However, there are 5 key things for you to take note of. And at the end of this video, I'm going to share my opinions as well. Things could go very wrong, even for China's biggest developer, Evergrande. Things like this would happen in any country. Projects are delayed or even abandoned for many years. So it's better not to invest in the countries that you are not familiar with. In Malaysia, the resale condo transactions are not so active like Singapore because the car price in Malaysia is so cheap and everyone drives. Land supply is not an issue in Malaysia. So the developer will build more and more property in the suburban areas. For the local buyers, they don't mind to buy something new that is further away from the town. So when you want to resell, the price might not appreciate at all unless you get a freehold landed property in Malaysia. But I'm sure you heard of some horrifying incidents in Malaysia. People might break into your house and everything inside could be gone. If you pay full cash to buy your foreign property, it's okay lah. But if you take a loan, your interest rate could be very high. In Singapore, now it's going to be 3% already. People already KP there. Many overseas countries now, mortgage interest rate already 5%. Imagine just the 2% difference. You can have 2 more cups of bubble tea every day. If you buy a property in overseas, I'm sure you might want to rent out the unit, right? And due to the distance, you are not able to manage yourself. Yes, I know in UK and Australia, you can engage the property management to manage for you. But do you know how much do they charge? About 10% of your rent every month. So these are the hidden costs that you have to factor in. Okay, the biggest killer of the foreign property is not about the cost, but it's about the currency. Take a look at how the foreign currency performance in the past 10 years. Malaysia ringgit dropped 28%, UK pound dropped 28%, and Australia dollar dropped 37%, which means the weaker foreign currency can wipe up all your profit if you convert them back to Singapore dollar. Yes, some of the foreign property might look promising in terms of the rental yield, but their transaction data are not so transparent like what we have in URA. It's very hard for us to justify whether the high rental yield is sustainable or not. I understand due to the high inflation, many of you are trying to find if there is any investment vehicle that can help you to beat the inflation. And some of you might think of moving and retire in Malaysia. 1 to 3.2 is very attractive for lower living costs and better quality of lifestyle. However, do take note of this. If you are Singaporean, you only can stay in Malaysia for 30 days. There are only 2 ways in order to stay longer than that. The first way is, if your spouse is a Malaysian, you can apply for the long-term social visit pass. And the second way is via the Malaysia My Second Home MM2H. However, the requirement to qualify for this is too high because it requires your income to be more than Ringgit Malaysia 40,000 per month, which is ridiculously high. I mean, if you have such a high income, you might not even think of saving costs in Malaysia already, right? And I understand some of you might want to fully pay your HDB flat and rent out the unit and retire in Malaysia, right? But do you know, if you stay long term outside Singapore for more than 183 days a year, you will be taxed under non-residence tax rate. That means your rental income in Singapore will be taxed at 22%. For example, for a rental income of 3,600 per month, almost 800 will be going for nation building. The grass is greener on the other side. Foreign property investment might not be as good as what you've seen on the surface. If you wish to retire in Malaysia, why not you buy the property in the future when you really need it? Maybe one day Singapore dollar to Malaysia ringgit could be 1 to 5.